हेलो एवरीवन। तो पिछले लेक्चर में हम लोगों ने पढ़ा था कि मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू और उसके टाइप्स और उन टाइप्स के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक के बारे में पढ़ा था। तो आज के लेक्चर में हमारा टॉपिक होगा परमानेंट टिश्यू। इसके टाइप्स और इसके कैरेक्टरिस्टिक को हम देखेंगे। आइए शुरू करते हैं। परमानेंट टिश्यू इज ऑफ टू टाइप्स, दैट इज सिंपल एंड कॉम्प्लेक्स परमानेंट टिश्यू. Further on, simple permanent tissue is divided into three types, that is parenchyma, cholenchyma, sclerenchyma, and complex is that is well known xylem and phloem. So our today's topic will be simple permanent tissue. So let's start. Our first topic is parenchyma. Before writing anything, let us draw a beautiful diagram of parenchymatic tissue. Here is the nucleus. This is vacuole. It is cytoplasm. So we can write, after seeing this diagram, that the cell wall is thin as drawn here in diagram, and the vacuole is central and nucleus is peripheral. Okay, from this diagram we can write about parenchyma is, first of all we will write that it is a living tissue. Living tissue. Second, we can write its cell wall is thin and made of cellulose. The third characteristic is, let us talk about its safe. Safe is roughly spherical. In some book there might be written isodimetric, so don't confuse. Its meaning is same as roughly spherical. So it is a living tissue first of all, and cell wall is thin and made up of cellulose, and safe is roughly spherical, or you can write it's oval. After saying this nucleus, we can write its nucleus is peripheral. Let's write blue marker. Peripheral. What is the meaning of peripheral? let us draw a simple cell. If the nucleus is at the center of the cell, that nucleus will be called as central nucleus. And if the nucleus is situated along with the cell wall, this is known, this all nucleus will be called as peripheral. Its nucleus is peripheral. So we can write, whenever is asked question upon parenchymatic tissue, draw the diagram and just write the 3-4 things. So okay, one more thing. Here you are seeing that there is some space between the cells, and here the intracellular fluid is filled. So we can write intercellular space is present. So this much you have to remember about the parenchymatic tissue. Now come, so I hope you all have written this. I will erase the upper 2 points. Next is occurrence. Found at all parts of life. Okay. Now let's talk about its function. Is the main function of parenchyma is storage of food and water. Okay, just write food as starch. So it also stores food, water. Storage of water in xerophytic plants. Okay, so what is xerophytic plant? Xerophytic plants are those plants which is found in deserts. So here is the line. It stores food as a start, and it stores water mainly in the xerophytic plants. Third one is, there are some derivatives of parenchyma. I mean, some cells have been derived in the race of evolution. Some of the names are, I hope you all have written this. Okay, let us erase this. Parenchyma is of two types, mainly of two types. That is, first is parenchyma and chlorenchyma. Now let's talk about the parenchyma and chlorenchyma. These are found in the aquatic plant. Example, lotus. So this type of parenchyma, that is parenchyma, is found mainly in the aquatic plants. And second one is chlorenchyma. Found at the various part of plant like stem. So this is chlorenchyma. It is found as the very part of the plant. You might be heard that parenchyma is chlorenchyma is found at the various part of the plant like stem. Some plants have their green stem due to the presence of chlorenchyma. So I think you have written this. Parenchyma is of two types. They are the derivatives of the parenchyma. First one is parenchyma, second one is chlorenchyma. Parenchyma, these are found in the aquatic plant like lotus and all other aquatic plants. And second one is chlorenchyma. So this is all for the parenchyma. Now let's start for the chlorenchyma. Second one is choline. Now let's draw a diagram. This spelling mistake. It is choline. Now let's draw a diagram before writing anything. So this is the thickening. Here is the thickening let us start nucleus and vacuole. This is the Kinetic tissue. Now after seeing this diagram, we can write its cell wall in as like parenchyma, and the same line here, and made of cellulose. Second line will be safe is sometime oval or polygonal. There is, you might be seeing there is uneven thickening of the at the corners of the cell. That thickening is due to the deposition of pectin. There is thickening at the cells due to deposition of pectin. So you might be looking here that there is uneven thickening at the corners of the cells, that is due to the deposition of pectin. This you have to remember. This is the characteristic of Kinetic tissue, that there is presence of uneven thickening of the cell. So this is for the Parenchyma. Now let's talk about its presence. You might have written this. Found that it is found that all parts, plants of dicots and except roots. Okay. It is found that all parts of dicots except roots. So we can write another line. It is absent in monocots and roots plants. Okay, so choline tissue is absent in monocots and in the roots of the plant, either that is dicots or monocots. So let us talk about its function. The main function of this choline is it provides strength to plant. It provides strength to the plant. You might have heard or you might have seen that a paddy plant let us talk about this later. It is found that provides strength to the plant. It also stores food like parenchyma. So it provides strength to plant and it also stores food. So this all for the choline. One more point. It is found at the leaf margin, so that leaf can't be torn due to the high wind flow. So found at leaf margin. So that's all for the choline. It's found, its occurrence, its function, and previously I taught you what is choline. Now that's all for the choline. Now let's come to the sclerenchyma, our last topic. It is not working. Sclerenchyma. Now let us draw a diagram of sclerenchyma. So there is deposition of lignin, due to which it just look like this. So now after see this diagram, okay, let us draw diagram more thickenings. here is thickening. So after this diagram you can write it is dead tissue. First of all, second is cell wall is thick. Its cell wall become more stronger its cell wall become more stronger due to the secretion of lignin around the cell walls. So you can write cell wall become more stronger due to deposition of lignin around the cell wall. So first of all, skin kinetic tissue is of this type, but after further on there is secretion of lignin and it's form another layer which provide strength to the cell wall, and cell wall become more stronger than earlier. So its cell wall become more stronger due to the deposition of lignin around the cell wall. So okay, this is all for the Parenchyma. Now let's talk about its presence. Found that husk of the coconut and seed coat of various seeds. So, Sclerenchyma is mainly found at the dead tissue. As it is dead tissue, it is found at the seed coat of the various seeds, which makes the seed to mature good or well before they grow into a plant. So, function of, now let's talk about the function of Sclerenchyma. It provide strength to the plant. Its presence in seed coat helps seed to mature well. So its function of Sclerenchyma that it provides strength to the plant, and its presence, main function is that its presence in seed coat helps seeds to mature well. In next lecture, we will study about the complex permanent tissue, its xylem, phloem, and their characteristic. So stay tuned and be safe.